at all. They'd know. And Dial has made the point they might be better at Celtic Park because they played a real counter-attacking game against us, but they didn't look up to much at all. And I agree with not playing Chris Commons because I think Chris Commons, away from home, but away from home against your top-class European sides, he's a bit of a luxury player because he doesn't really put the foot in, he doesn't really defend for the front. But you're looking at a team like that, in hindsight, I think it would maybe been tailor-made for Commons, see for making that bit of space, and because I didn't think that team offered much at all. So I think we've missed a real opportunity to sort of have the game dead and buried for bringing it back to Celtic Park because it's still on a bit of a knife edge. And if they play the counter-attack, you never know. You know, if they get the first goal, the crowd can start getting a bit edgy. But I'm still pretty confident we'll go through. You know. But it's a big test for Dyla again. You know, he's come through his first major test over there after the Warsaw debacle. He's come through his first major test, and this is equally humongous tomorrow night. But I'm really looking forward to it. But I didn't rate that team at all. I thought they were a lot poorer than Legia Warsaw. But maybe that's taken away from Celtic. Maybe we sort of controlled the game. Maybe we played the right formation and we got it right. But I don't really see that much to be concerned about, to be honest with you. No, I thought it was a decent Celtic performance with it being magic, you know, and getting a one each draw where we should have won. You know, obviously with the header coming off Johansson and then Johansson's run as well when he sort of lost his balance, and I think it was Kyle maybe get pulled in for a penalty, but he didn't give it. And but I was watching it in the pub, and what we were saying was if the referee gives any decisions against us, we can't really complain.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something, right? I've been listening to the Off the Ball podcast of late, right? It's a news talk here in Ireland. It's the Irish version, like, no. So I was listening the next morning, going into my work, and obviously it's recorded the night before, and they had the Celtic game on in the background, and your man's giving it, well, there's 30 minutes gone here, and it's an absolute terrible display to Celtic, and Celtic fans will all be happy watching this, and then they come back to it, and he's gone, Celtic get an absolute pummeling here in the second half, and I'm sitting going, what are these guys talking about?
What shite are they talking?
Absolutely. I mean, it was getting me that annoyed listening the next day going, there'll be people listening to this, listening to them saying that, but not watching the game, thinking, fucking, we're having an absolute nightmare. And we completely controlled the game for the most part, like, no?
Yeah, but
it just shows you, like, some of the garbage pundits out there. Like.
I found it incredible that when we went 1-0 up, there was a 5-minute period we were just passing the ball about the back three, back four, and they didn't even come into our half to try and get the ball off us. Just saying, just keep doing that for the rest of the game. You're 1-0 up. But it was, I just think that team.
Jason, that's what I was talking about. That's what I was talking about. And then sometimes it got to the point where the fans started booing, as if to say we're passing the ball about the back, and they were booing us. So Charlie Mulgrew would have better hit a pass here. And I'm like, no, you didn't. Let them come. Do you know what I mean? That was the one thing that was bugging me during the game. Like.
Aye, exactly.
So, right, well then, I mean, I think there's much to talk about in terms of the Maribor game. I think we got, I really felt we could have won it easy 3-1, but I mean, I just kind of felt, like you said, Harper passing the ball back and forth. I kind of wanted a bit more bite as well, but I can also see the reasoning behind holding back. But then you go on to Saturday and complete wholesale changes for Inverness, bar Charlie Mulgrew, which is a bold move, but also a very smart move as well, but also a big gamble too in terms of like losing points. And that's exactly what happened. But I suppose, before we go into the ins and outs of that game, is anybody happy to sacrifice 3 points against Inverness for tomorrow night?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you're never happy to see Celtic getting beat, but I think we all understood the situation, so absolutely, of course. Man.
So, I mean, and when you look at Saturday in the first half, we could have game dead and buried. We took our chances. But if you play Craig Gordon there and he gets an injury, or you play Big Virgil, he gets an injury, you know, Ronnie Dylan is going to look like a prize clown. So we can recover for losing 3 points at Inverness, absolutely.
And let's not forget that a lot of the players we brought in, they talk about 10 changes, but some of the changes were Chris Commons, Lee Griffiths, Ambrose, Pookie. These are all guys that are supposed to be first team players. Like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I thought Owen O'Connell didn't do too bad on Saturday. I mean,
the hardest thing he had to do was deal with the bloody hospital passes he was getting for Charlie Mulgrew in the first half.
So, is anybody kind of want to go through the game on Saturday, or I mean, are we kind of just all geared towards?
See, first off, man, right? He was completely right to make the changes that he did, completely. And I'll tell you something else that was a wee positive. I think came out of the game that we got a few things confirmed to us by a few players. I think Pookie, I think you'd be lucky if you ever see him at Celtic Jersey again. That was a terrible, terrible performance for him. To get hooked at half time tells you everything you need to know. Twarzik looked like he was a level below everybody else in the park, to be honest. I wasn't surprised to see him getting hooked. I don't think... there's a lot of the players, and it still stands for what we say at the start of the season, a lot of the players just aren't up to it. Beaton, I just didn't see him as a Celtic player either. He's an alright big player, but to be honest, he's not going to cut it at Celtic. I don't know. I mean, O'Connell done well. Henderson was okay. I was surprised. I don't know if you've heard the interviews after the game. John Hughes said young Henderson completely ran the show in the game. I mean, I don't know if I've seen that, but he done all right for his first start of the season. Like, no, Jason says we could have walked away with that game in the first half, but this wasn't to be, man. The formation wasn't great. Like, no, with Griffiths, how we had them set up, Pookie and Commons. And we were weak at the back, the left back position. Obviously, that's where the goal came from when Johansson went there and he got caught, turned too easily in that. But it's just one of them, man. It's not really going to make a big difference in the grand scheme of things. I think we did get to learn, but a few things confirmed about a few players. Listen, see, the thing is, right, top teams in Europe do this before European games, they'll rest players. And we should have a squad of players who should be good enough to come in and play in the SPL in their games, and they should be coming in to prove a point. And to me, not really any of them did come in and say, "Look, I'm fighting for a place here." I was quite disappointed in the guys coming in. So I think I learned a little bit for that side. Paul, I don't know what.
No, I agree. I think on the Pookie thing, I think if he scores any early chances, it's a totally different game. The younger players relax more, the pressure comes off, the natural football starts. Instead, he's the experienced international striker. He misses the chances, and suddenly, it's looking at somebody else. And the most concerning thing for me about the game was, I agree. I understand why he made the changes. I never ever think it works in terms of putting a team on the pitch for that game. I don't think you can ever just throw 10 players in and say, right, go and make a team. But what the most concerning thing about the game was, as the game went on, it was the younger players who tried to get us back into it. And your Commons and your Griffiths just sat there with their faces tripping on, doing nothing. And Commons I'll give leeway to because he's been doing a whole once in his Celtic career before, where, he obviously fell out with Lennon, blah, 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 and he dug in and he put himself back. Griffiths, I don't know what his problem is, but he needs to realise this is a big club, you know what I mean? And you do what you're told. The whole team's not set up for your satisfaction. Everybody in the pitch isn't there to make chances for you. You need to graft your bolts off, and he never done that on Saturday. And as you say, I mean, it's like one of these ones where you expect players to be like, I want to give the manager a decision to make on Tuesday. But instead, too many of them think, oh God, that's me among the stiffs now, is it? And, I'm not going to get rested or anything like that. I mean, it wasn't a very that's what you think about. It's just part of the game. But when Celtic do it, of course, you're pissed off because you don't want to get beat, etc. But to me, losing that game on Saturday wasn't about Ronnie Dyler making changes. It was about players not being able to pass the ball from A to B, frankly.
Yeah, I mean, I had a point there in my head and it's completely gone. Fucking, you'll be glad to know. I was going to say something completely forgotten. Somebody cover for me.
Jason?
I've taken a brain fart.
I just checked the chat room there. Somebody says the sounds went up.
What? Hold on a second.
I think it's back now.
Oh, I'll tell you now.
I like Big Yogi as well. Paul, he's although he's a Hibs man, he's got nothing but praise for Celtic, and he always says he played his heart out for us. Wasn't he the greatest player, but played his heart out when he was at Celtic, and I always got sort of fond memories of him. You know, he left his shirt in the park, so I'd like to see.
See, Jason, what you touched on there, I think in one of his other interviews, he said it was like defending the Alamo. They
created more chances than us in the second half. Actually, Zaluska made a cracking save to stop them going 2-0 up. But I've no... the thing with Zaluskas as well, you say to yourself, what professional pride has he got? You know, because he's never going to be the number one. So he's obviously just... I don't know if I'd do the same when I was his position. Maybe he's just delighted with the wages he's earning. He's not going to get that anywhere else. So he's happy just to earn the wages. But I would like to think if it was me and I was playing and I was always a number two, I'd be trying to move on to be the number one. But you wouldn't know what teams come in. But I would say, see guys like Dylan McGeoch and things like that, nah, I'm not going to do it. You know, I don't see it. I think they need to just get moved on.
See, I don't think he was even playing, to be honest.
Several times I forgot he's playing as well.
And it's just, it's getting to the young boy, Owen O'Connell, he's a young guy, but it's quite worrying that we haven't got many young players champing at the door. You know, I think it's hard when you put 9 new players in for them to gel and be any good. You know, that's... If you introduce one or two, we covered that numerous times last season. If you introduce one or two into a winning team, then it's a lot easier for them to settle in. When you put a full new team out there, so none of them know what they're doing, and I think that's what we ended up with on Saturday. But I'm just everyone's concentrating on tomorrow night. It's just so big a game for us. You know, we've been given a free lottery ticket, and we need to grab it with both hands. But at the end of the day, I'm not counting my chickens because I'm still, after the highs of the Dundee United game and the Maribor away game was pretty good, but I just think we still lack that sort of killer instinct. I don't know, Dundee United aside, that was great, but I think Maribor, I don't know, a bit more... I thought Stokes worked his socks off. I don't know what you think of that. Right. See the game over there? Stokes was fantastic. The shift that he put in there, you know... But as we've said before, he's not the kind of best striker when he's back to the goal. And that was the kind of role he had to play, but he ran his socks off. And some of his wee flicks and stuff like that, it was world class. You know, at times he can be absolutely phenomenal. But